Hello, I am Dan, aka the tipster in a suit, and I may not have been to the most racetracks. I've definitely not seen the most horses, but I am the best judge of race form that I know, and I'm here to prove it. I want to thank everyone who's liked and subscribed. Honestly, it does mean a lot to me, but I particularly want to thank everyone who's commented. Jamie's sensible, I've had a good chat with, and he's offered some handicap selections. I've offered my opinions, he's offered his opinions and insight. And that's exactly what I set this channel up for. So if you've got any opinions about any races at the Cheltenham Festival, do leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. Also, if you like my insight, if you like my analysis, bringing in the RPRs, then do check out my other two videos. So, on to my selections. Yes, it is plural, I know, but I just had to have two darts in this race because I believe it is such an open race. The race I'm talking about is the National Hunt Chase, the old 4 miler, and I've got a good history with it, always placing without quite finding the winner. I had Chemical Energy last year, Run Wild Fred the year before, Iscaria 10 the year before that, Lord Luminil the year before that, and painstakingly the year before that I had Discorama, just missing out to LeBrawl, who cost me over £1,000 with a double with Beware the Bear on the day. So with that hurt in my heart, I've decided two darts is fair in such an open race. If you look at the qualification for the race, you need to have ran twice over fences, and one of those runs needs to have been over 2 miles 7.5, and you need to have come in the top 4. So if we were to look at the market, Nick Roquette, who seems to be a lot of shrewd judges' pick for the race, is not yet qualified. If you were to check his entries out, he's only entered at the Dublin Racing Festival for the 2 mile 6, which would not qualify him. He has 2 opportunities to qualify at Naas and Navan. If you're Irish and I've butchered that, I'm so sorry, but do let me know how I should be pronouncing it. But I would hold fire on backing him. If you go non-run and no bet, that's fair enough, fill your boots. But until he is qualified, do not place any money on the antepost selection. I also want to remove some others from the market before I get into it. Grange Clare West, who has the best RPR in the market available, is definitely Brown Advisory bound and is Mullin's best chance for that race. Favre de Chambeau is Elliott's best chance for the Brown Advisory and is unlikely to go. Apples Away is a mare, so has the options of the Mare's Chase, but again is either going to be safe for Aintree or potentially would go for the Brown Advisory. A previous selection of mine, Kilbeg King, who has the best handicap mark I can think of, is actually entered in a handicap next weekend. If he was to go and expose that handicap mark, he could end up turning up here or the Brown Advisory, but until he does that, I want to put him to one side as well. So at the top of the market, we have Embassy Garden. I believe straight off the bat, he is the worst favourite you can back at the festival right now. If you look at his novice hurdle form, he was too keen at both the Punchestown and Cheltenham Festival. Is that to do with the crowd sizes, the field sizes? Yeah, it has potential, and until he's seen doing it in a big field with a big crowd, I would be nervous he wouldn't get too keen. If you were to watch his chase debut, it leaves a lot to be desired. He got a generous 144 RPR in my opinion. If you were to watch the race back, they went no pace at all for the first 2 miles, clocking 23-24 miles an hour at some sections. If you watch his jumping as well, he screwed out at the back at the first few fences, which I suppose you can forgive for a novice. But when the pace started to get going for the last mile, he landed steeply at the last 2 as well. Now, in what is an open but competitive field, if he was to jump like that, he would lose too much distance, and I believe he doesn't even have a chance of being in the top 3, given the nature of the race this year. So I would say Embassy Garden, you need to put to one side and don't back. If you were to look at some of the others as well that I wouldn't be backing, Stay Away Faye could end up going here, particularly if Hermes Allen was to end up going for the Browns. Now, while Stay Away Faye is a previous festival winner and recorded an RPR of 150, he did that against Giovinco. Giovinco appeared to travel all over him that day, and he did show a very game attitude, but I question the form of that with Giovinco disappointing next time out in the Cato Star Novices Chase on Boxing Day. I think he'll find 1 or 2 with a bit too much class, and I wouldn't be backing him. Floor Importer has been confirmed by Gavin Cromwell and also has festival form similar to Stay Away Faye, being a 2-time stairs hurdle winner. I credit one of those wins to Danny Mullins, who gave an excellent ride, dictating the pace before clearing off and winning. He has won at Cheltenham this season over fences and has disappointed the last 2 times. I can forgive him the run at the right-handed track, but not so much his last run. And I do believe this was not his original plan. I think Gavin Cromwell has decided to do this as a bit of a plan B. Corbett's Cross you can also put into that camp. I think they thought the world of him and looked like winning the Albert Bartlett last year before running out. Whether he would have won against the game stay away phase yet to be seen. His RPR, his best RPR over fences is 146. That was coming behind Grange Clare West, and while on the eye his win did appear to be nice, I don't think he's at the quality required. I think it is a second thought for them with Factifard, the JP McManus other horse is going for the Brown Advisory, not even entered in this race. So I think it's left this as a bit of a plan B. I wouldn't be convinced that he stays, and I wouldn't be convinced he's got a good enough RPR or proven enough quality to go and win the race. So it leads me to my first selection, who is more of a saver, and Broadway Boy at 20-1. Now Broadway Boy behind Grange Clare West has the best RPR over fences in the field. He recorded an RPR of 155 when demolishing a pretty decent field at Cheltenham over December, and that was over 3 miles too. He beat Good Risk at All, No End, who was well fancied on the day, and he didn't appear to be stopping at the line either. Now, last time out, he was a tad disappointing, or very disappointing, losing to Grey Dawning. But if you were to watch the race, he and Apples Away kind of took each other on in front a bit too much, cut each other's throat, allowing Grey Dawning to pick up the pieces in behind. I'm happy to put a line through that run, which came just over a month after his demolition job at Cheltenham. And Twiston Davis has said he will now head straight to the festival for this race, which will freshen him up. If he was to reproduce that form back in December at the festival, I think he would be hard to catch. And at 20-1, I think there has been an overreaction in the market to that disappointing run last time out. My main selection, however, is Salvador Ziggy at 12-1. Now, he hasn't been seen since disappointing in the American National over hurdles, but similarly, I am happy to put a line through that effort. He went off favourite, appeared to be going well, and stopped suddenly, and Elliott has come out since saying he was a poorly horse when returning from America. His 2 chases before that has recorded an RPR of 152. That matches Kilbeg Kings and would be the next best RPR in the entire field, and that includes Favre de Chambeau. One of them was in a 2-runner affair where the time was quite good, but I'm happy to put that to one side and focus on his Kerry National run. He was beaten by a couple of lengths by a bit of a blot who had clearly been targeted for the race by Martin Brazil, who finished strongly past him. However, if you go back and watch that race, firstly, he jumps very, very well. He is an economic jumper, he doesn't make any mistakes, and he seems to be quite smart. He's also not being caught towards the line by any of the others in behind, with some classy acts in behind, including the Goffer, Chemical Energy, Stumpstown, who were all carrying less weight. Authorised Art was carrying £1 more and was further back as well, so he's beat a competitive field there carrying more weight, getting a good RPR of 152. He also has course form as well. He came second in the per attempts behind Good Time Johnny, carrying 11.7, with only 3 horses carrying more. He was well fancied on that day, and I believe his jumping technique over fences is an improvement from his jumping technique over hurdles. I also think the way that he's been laid out, given some good rest in between the National in America and now, is similar to Chemical Energy, and which would suggest he is very, very likely for the national hunt. Also to his benefit is Rob James is the likely rider. Now he is one of 3 or 4 that you want to see on board alongside Patrick Mullins, who of course is exclusive to the Mullins yard, JJ Slevin and Derek O'Connor. So knowing he'll have a top jockey on board alongside his festival form, his improvement for fences, leads me to believe he is the likely winner. I've put £10 on the nose at 12-1, and I've put a further £20 each way at 12-1 also. So that is £50 total stake on Salvador Ziggy, £20 on the nose at 20-1 on Broadway Boy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, on the analysis, and if you've got an opinion on the race, do let me know down below. And I'll see you on the next one.